This is Lee, Chromatic PVC flute in C, but the key doesn't really matter because it's chromatic. So of course the difficulty of making a chromatic flute is there are 12 tones and you only have 10 fingers. There are a number of ways you can handle this problem, like making different combinations for each note, like on a recorder, or by using overtones like I did with Stanley. But the way I handled it this time was I have 5 tone holes for the right hand. You can see there's one for the thumb. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. On the left hand there are 6. There are 2 for your left thumb. And this is actually manageable. You can put your thumb in such a way that you can just kind of cover one without covering the other. You can do that. So that's how I managed to handle this. So this goes F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then back to C. Flute doesn't have all of the range of a normal flute, but it has most of the range. It has 2.5 octaves. Starts at C, goes all the way up to F sharp, and then G is a little hazy, then you can push it to G sharp, but it doesn't really go beyond that. But, I mean, that's not all the range of a concert flute, but that's more than enough for me. I mean, I'm happy with just 2 octaves. This flute is generally quieter, though. In part, I think that's because the diameter is slightly smaller than a normal flute. At least, I think it is. I'm not sure what diameter standard flutes use. But also because it has a fipple instead of a blowhole, which, well, you can see the fipple here. This fipple provides a more controlled sound, but it's not quite as loud. But I don't really care, because you get all the volume you need for playing in a small room. For example, this sounds great in a room with a guitar, you know, just like the intro to this video. It sounds fine in that context. I'm not going to play this in front of a symphony orchestra, so I don't need any more volume. This flute is somewhat difficult to play, though, because it's hard to cover the tone holes, because they're very large and they're very far apart. Like, there's a lot of space between them. And so it took me maybe about a week of practicing just to get all the notes down, but I got them now. And basically the only difficulty now is because it's chromatic, it's easy to play a wrong note. But I'm really happy with this flute, because pretty much whenever I want to sound like I'm playing an actual flute, it's enough. I mean, as long as I've got a microphone or something, you know, it sounds just like a real flute. And it cost me $2 to make, I think. Well, I mean, plus the opportunity cost of actually making it. Maybe it took me, well, the first time probably took me an hour, maybe 2, but now I could make a replica in 30 minutes, because I know how. So yeah, it's a good thing to have around.